All right, this BYOP is coming at the perfect time. I think I even said when I was picking out the theme last month that it was like solely just because we had been having such gray weather. And sadly, that has not stopped. That has not stopped. Like most of this last week has been very gray. This week, I think most of the days are going to be gray and rainy. So, woo. So having a sunshine themed build your own palette is going to be perfect. And of course, I'm going to share with you mine today. But if we haven't met before, my name is Kelly and I'm a professional hair and makeup artist. And here on my channel, I strive to keep beauty real. Real honest, real relatable, and real fun. So if that sounds like something you'd enjoy, don't forget to click subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. All right, so if you are new to this series, welcome. And I hope that this sunshiny video perks you up for the spring, like hopefully it's going to do for me as well. But just a little background on this, my friend Kara from Beauty and the Frizz and I started this series well over 2 years ago now. Honestly, I'm not sure if Kara is going to be doing this. I'm not sure if she's going to be doing the series anymore. We really haven't talked about it recently. So, you know, this has always been a no pressure situation. So whenever anyone wants to hop in on that, including you, if you would like to do so, feel free. So if she is, I will have her video linked down below and anyone else that is joining in on this one. If you are a makeup lover but not a content creator, you can always just share your pictures of your palette or swatches or your eye looks or whatever you would like on Instagram by tagging me at KeepBeautyReal. All right, I think that is everything. As far as themes, I will be sharing this next month's theme at the end of this video, so make sure you stick around for that as well. So this month's palette is not only a palette of sunshine shades, but it is also, for me, as I open this up, a palette of shades that, for the most part, I have not really been using recently. And by recently, I mean like in the last year. So there were a few shades that I knew right away that I wanted to pull out, or at least the vision of the color in my head. But some of these I was like, you know what? But some of these I was like, you know what? I have not either used this shade, I have not used this enough. It's been a really long time since I've used this one. So that's gonna be what we get into. So aside from showing you this and showing you swatches, we're gonna do 2 looks. I will apologize right now for my face. Because first of all, it's a little itchy right now, which is a bit concerning. So probably right after this video, I am going to wash my face. But I used this Too Faced Hangover Primer and it doesn't smell bad, but it doesn't smell great. It doesn't smell like what I sort of remember it smelling like. And I'm kind of wondering if that's what is making my face itch, which is slightly concerning. So I think this one is going to be going into the Garbaggio. And also, I used a concealer that I used to love, and I think that I'm just too old. I'm just too old. My eyes have just seen too much life to be able to use anymore. This is the Flower Beauty Light Illusion. I don't even know if they make this one anymore. It immediately made me look like 10 years and much more sun exposure old. You know what I'm saying. Not a cute look, but we're just gonna carry on. So if the eyeshadow look gets a smidge patchy or it's a little flaky, it's probably not the eyeshadow, it's just my face. All right, that's a fun way to get into this video. Welcome to my channel. Let's go ahead and take a look at this palette. Now, you had to know that there were gonna be quite a few yellow shades in here. And I didn't necessarily think that I was going to be doing like all yellows. We do have a couple not quite yellows and, you know, a little one-off here. But once I pulled this out, I was like, you know what? I love a yellow eye look, I really do. And I think it's perfect for this time of year. And I wanted to pull out some shades that I just haven't been using enough. So I feel like we've got some sunny shades here. We've got some bright shades. I also pulled in shades that give me the feeling of sunshine, you know, like that sparkle, that light, that vibe. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so I'm gonna zoom you in so we can do these swatches. Okay, so this first shade, this is not necessarily a yellow, but it definitely does have a yellow leading shift. What I was looking for was something that reminds me of that like pink sky cloud, like sunshine, where pink cloud sky sunshine. That was not meant to be like one noun. That was just meant to be like a vibe. Like, you know, when like that little bit of that cotton candy sky, I have recently just really been into like looking at the clouds and looking at the sky. Part of it is like wanting to do better with watercolor painting the sky. And I just love it when I see a good like sunny cloud, but that has that little bit of like a rosy hue. And so I thought that this shade from Devinah was really fitting. So this is Pixy Stix, and hopefully you'll be able to see in the swatch here. Now, I'm going to be honest here, this shade is a bit hard to pick up with a like dry finger. I find that this is one of those that I would always be wearing with a damp brush. It is really silky and thin, but you can see here, I mean, the one good thing about that is you could use this in an ethereal way. Let me see if I can zoom you in just a little bit more. There we go. So you can use it in this beautiful ethereal fashion, or you could build it up. I'm gonna see what happens if I just like wet my finger a little bit. I usually do all of these shades with a dry finger, but you can see how this just sort of like collects on the corner. It's just so thin and so silky that I feel like you need a little bit of that dampness. So let me just get a better kind of like juicy swatch here. So I just want to make sure to be able to build up. There we go. Well, that's like a big, I did say a juicy swatch. I don't know that I meant like a 2-finger wide swatch, but this one is just so pretty. Like, doesn't that make you think of sunshine? Like, sunshine doesn't have to be that like bright yellow, like basic shade. This just gives me that like fun, happy vibe, and I am so here for it. You can also see it here on my finger. It just has this beautiful, it's very thin. And so I think that it's going to be really flattering. It's very thin and very smooth. It's going to be a super flattering shimmery shade on even like textured eyelids. As flattering as a shimmer shade can be on textured lids. All right, so this next one is definitely one that I have not used for a while. I might have put it in a BYOP, but I'm actually not sure. This is Maja or Maja from Odens Eye. Honestly, these shades, I just don't think of them. So I really wanted to pull this one out. And this really gives me that almost golden hour, that tropical, we're gonna do these on an angle since we did the first one. That sort of like tropical vibe, sunshine. This one has a bit of amber and a bit of pink to it as well. Like you can see, I mean, I think a lot of companies have shades that are similar to this. There was something about this one in the smoothness and a little bit of extra warmth that was in this that I really like. To be honest, I had also pulled out Devinah's Skyla. They're similar-ish, but Skyla has like more bam to it and a bit more sparkle. Not quite, I don't know, it's just like not quite as ambery. I don't know, the tone was a bit different, but I wanted to use this one because I just, like I said, I just don't think to use these. And Devinah is a brand that I just always think about pulling out. Speaking of, one more Devinah shimmer in here, and it is Bitter Lust. This one, of course, is from one of the new collections from the brand. And the reason that I chose this is for, again, that like feeling of sunshine. All of the shades from the Decadent Desires collection are so incredibly shimmery, and I just wanted to pick out one of the warmer shades so that we could get that like warm skin in the sunshine feeling. That's kind of what this is. You know, these are a beautiful collection of like, you know, naughty nudes, I guess I would say. I think that's one of the descriptors that Deander had. And this, like, it just gives me that like, so look at that, like that's so sparkly. If that doesn't make you think of sunshine, so pretty. Absolutely just gorgeous. And I really love this entire collection. So I do think that most people would be able to pick out, you know, maybe 2 or 3 shades from the collection, unless you like never wear anything but like neutral / nudes. But I love them all. It's really hard to pick. Okay, so now we're going to grab this Big Daddy shade. And again, this is one that I have not used in a long time, and I probably should, because this is going to last me forever. This is one from JD Glow. This one is Lemonade, and I think this one actually had quite a bit of popularity there when JD Glow was having its heyday. I actually only have maybe 4 shades from the brand, and I do plan on doing a like eyeshadow singles declutter at some point, and so I really need to go through all of my palettes and start trying and using the formulas that I just have kind of forgotten about, so that I can decide if I want to keep them or not. The nice thing about this one though is like it is just that beautiful, true yellow. I think sometimes with yellows, you know, they can get a little bit ambery, they can get almost a little green, a little bit gold. So this really is just like that very molten yellow. There is a shade that I have in my Sydney Grace shades that might have some of the vibes of this, but I will say that one is a little bit drier. This one definitely has a bit more creaminess to it. That Sydney Grace shade though is one of the first ones that I ever got, so it could just also be very old. I'm not gonna lie, but probably need to swatch those next to each other. That one might also be called Lemonade. Hold on. Okay, I was just too tempted. I was just too tempted and I had to pull it out now that we were talking about it. Yeah, this one is also called Lemonade. All right, we're doing a little doing a little swatch investigation together. Ah, okay. So the Sydney Grace Lemonade shade, I think it has almost like a tiny bit of a greeny hue to it, whereas the JD Glow shade is a little bit more true yellow. So can you see that top shade is almost like highlighter yellow? That's the Sydney Grace one, and this one is the JD Glow. And I would actually say that the JD Glow one is also more molten. This should probably mean, I know we're just kind of having like a little sidebar here, but this should probably mean that I keep the JD Glow and I get rid of the Sydney Grace. But like, this JD Glow one is just so ginormal. I don't know. Thoughts for the future. You let me know what your thoughts are. Should I keep one? Should I keep both? Which is your favorite, Sydney Grace or JD Glow? Okay. Anyway, game on. Let's go ahead and get back into your previously scheduled programming. All right. I wanted to have mostly shimmers in this palette. I mean, when I think sunshine, I just wanted like that shimmery vibe, but I did want to have at least 3 mattes in here with, you know, some varying depth. So the lightest one, and one that I absolutely love, is Capri from Devinah. By the way, if there's anything in this little swatch party that trips your little sunshine lover's heart, you can use my code KEEPBEAUTYREAL for a discount on your Devinah purchase. It is applicable on most things, but maybe still not this cute little pan puller. All right, so this Capri shade is, the nice thing about it is light, but it still packs a punch. It's not that like chalky pastel. This really still has quite a bit of oomph to it. So I really love this one. And you could, you know, use it really blurred out for something really light or pack it on for a bit more punch. So love that one. That's one of the ones in here that isn't a lightly used shade. I do love and use that one a lot. This is one that I definitely haven't used enough, and I've talked about these, how I love the Clionadh round pans and how they don't get enough love. And this one is definitely that like earthy, a little bit golden, a little bit nude. This one is almost like a sunshine on the sand kind of shade, like beautiful beach days. And, you know, I thought that I really needed to have like one little nude in here that could be such a quick look with like, you know, a yellow matte. And just, I mean, again, it just has that light to it. And the interesting thing about this is this has a lot of little tiny, it's like a shimmery nude, but it has lots of tiny little yellowish microflecks to it. So while it doesn't look super textured, let me try to get it in the light there. There we go. While it doesn't look super textured, it does have a little bit of like je ne sais quoi to it. So really enjoy that one. All right, one that definitely has a lot of shimmer to it is this shade from Glamshop. All right, I'm gonna have to look up the translation of this shade. It also doesn't help that the name is sort of scrubbed off a little bit. Can't tell if it's Blyskotka or Blyskotka. I will investigate. What I wanted was something that was very light and bright, but that had a little bit of blue to it to represent that like sunny sky. And this is a beautiful shade. It is very, very sparkly, but the sparkles are really tiny. So I think you could use this as a fun inner corner. You could, you know, pat it over the top of one of the matte shades. And it just gives a nod to that blue without being like really blue. So hopefully you can kind of see there that little blue shift that's in that. It's very thin. It's definitely more of like a topper shade, but it is very pretty. And it actually has like a blue and a yellow to it. I'm gonna see if I can get that to show here. Maybe you can see that. It's a very pretty one, and I just haven't been thinking about pulling out my Glamshop shades enough. I will say they are so sparkly. Like the sparkles that I have from Glamshop are so sparkly that it's definitely a face and complexion makeup like after eyeshadow. And so that is one thing that sometimes limits me, because recently I've just been doing like quick complexion, throwing on a good amount of blush, and then I'm like, oh, eyeshadow, let's pop something on quick. And so this would be something where I really wouldn't have that option. All right, this next shade is an oldie but a goodie from Makeup Geek. This is Early Bird, and I wanted something that really has that warmth to it, you know, just like that feeling. You know, something that invokes that like warmth, that glow. And I think that this one does it. And I've kept my Makeup Geek shades, so I need to be using my Makeup Geek shades. So this was a really loved one, and I need to pull it out more. We have another Makeup Geek shade coming up right after this, by the way, spoiler alert. Oh, see how that one just has like, this is the deepest matte that I pulled out, because I honestly didn't really want a lot of dark in this palette. I mean, it's a sunshine palette. I wanted mostly like light, bright, shiny, shimmery, light bringing shades. This next shade is the darkest shimmer in here. This is another one that was quite popular in the foiled eyeshadows. This is Untamed. I have a decent dip in this pan, considering that I really haven't been playing with my Makeup Geek enough recently. This is that like warm glow kind of vibe. Oh, we're gonna get just every shade on here, all 10, just barely. All right, so I'm really excited to use that one. I don't feel like this is the most foiled of what the Makeup Geek foiled shadows were. I don't know if it used to be more foiled, but again, that's one of the reasons why we got to use some of these shades, is just to see how I feel about them. All right, this last shade, oof. I'm glad this one's at the bottom because it's going to make a mess. This is a Dandelion shade. I have told you all that I think the Dandelions Co-Mattes are gorgeous, stunning. The pigmentation level on these is stellar. That also means that the powder level on these is also stellar. And let me know if you have purchased Dandelion shades recently, like in 2025. Have formulas shifted at all? Are they at all slightly less powdery? Because I just cannot. They're just too messy. My Virgo tendencies just start to take over, and I just can't do it anymore. But this is a beautiful one. This is Invigorate. I will definitely enjoy the shades that I got. I'm so glad that when I bought from this brand, most of the shades that I picked up were ones that I will use a lot. I got like some mustardy, sunny shades. I got a couple rich shades. And then I did pick up, I honestly think I picked up some purples and pinks because I didn't really have a lot in my mattes at that time. So I was like, well, I might as well get something that's a little bit different. And I would say that those are the ones that I reach for the least, just because, you know, there probably was a reason why I didn't have a lot of those. I mean, look at that. Look how rich and saturated that went on. I will say this one didn't kick up too crazy, but usually they make a mess. So this is quite cute, I believe. So this is our Sunshine palette. I'm really in love with it. Now let's get into those looks. All right, so as I am swiping all of this off, I have to say the house is starting to smell so good. I have a roast going in the Instant Pot right now, although I have it on like slow cook, but I've done it like with the pressure cooker before too. This pot roast is like one of Jeremy's favorite things. It's from the Primal Gourmet. So if you do like paleo or dairy free or any of those things, it's a great option. I'm gonna link, if you like using a pressure cooker, or we've done it on the smoker and then thrown it into the like slow cooker or Instant Pot before, both are amazing. You don't have to smoke it, but it does certainly add a little extra zing, but it is so great, and it is the most random combination. It's a Mississippi pot roast, which I guess is like a thing. Jeremy loves it. I usually serve it with like cauliflower mash, or we've had it, like he likes to have it with noodles. I think we did that one time. I don't even know, but it's great and it takes minimal effort. I love it. So I'll make sure to have the recipe down below. Any of Ronnie's recipes, Jeremy has liked, and so I love quick, easy things that I know that he's really going to enjoy. And then I just usually serve up like a roasted veg or something with it, and it's super easy. So I'm just like smelling it as we're sitting here. This might be a totally random thing to share here, but in case you're someone who's looking for food ideas, or especially if you like some low carb ones, I know that I'm always looking for like lower carb ideas. All right, anyway, let's move into eyeshadow. I want to do one look that is just super light and bright, and one look that's featuring this shade, because like I pulled this one out. I mean, this is very much like the epitome of like sunshine yellow. So I want to do one featuring that. That's all I know so far. So let's start off with doing something just kind of like light and ethereal. So I think to start that out, I am just going to lay down that Capri shade, that nice like light lemony shade from Devinah, all over the lid. We're going to see how this goes. Like hopefully some of the moisture has come back to my lids, but I can even see on this one, like it's like that concealer made my eyelid look so scaly, but also it didn't like cover, and because I was trying to blend it out because it started looking so patchy and gross, now I have spots where there just isn't anything. This is going to be interesting. So I'm just going to start by like patting this onto the lid. And again, if this starts looking weird, it's totally not the shadow. It's my eyelid and the concealer on it. And then once I've got that on the lid, I'm just going to take whatever's left on the brush and just blur and blend it up into my crease. See, look how nice that is. Like you could just wear this. You could just wear this, like maybe pop a fun like bit of shimmer on the inner corner, and that would be fine. All right, I've taken a bit of that Pixy stick shade on, what is this, a Refer 21, and I am going to spray this decently with Fix Plus, and we're just gonna pat that all over the lid. And it never fails. I don't know what I do, but I always get a little bit on this eye underneath. So I'm going to just go with it. And I'm gonna pop a little bit, like not even on the inner corner. It's like on my inner, like my inner fourth of my lower lash line, I guess I would say. And then I am gonna take a bit of that Capri shade on my lower lash line. Let's go ahead and use this number 12 from Refer. I'm grabbing all Refer brushes and not like intentionally. This Pixie Stix shade is so fun because it really does have that little bit of like pink shift to it. Let me turn up the light just a smidge more. It's so pretty. It's just so sunny. All right, I'm going to use that same number 12, and I'm going to take that shade from Glamshop, that like sparkly one, because I do like using this to stamp on the inner corner, and this shade is so sparkly that I think that's going to be our best bet for not getting fallout everywhere. Like I said, not that it really matters. I'm not going anywhere, and I'm probably going to be washing my face sooner than later. And I'm just going to hit that on the inner corner here. Considering how crustalicious my eye is looking right now, that's really pretty. Wow, wet like that, it like really ba-bammed. It really did. Okay, I'm just like, I don't even think it's showing up on my viewfinder as bright as what it is in person. That's really pretty. All right, I am quickly gonna throw some mascara on so that we can see what this looks like. You could also do a really thin amount of like a dark brown eyeliner. I think that would be really pretty too, just to enhance the lash line, but we're just gonna do mascara. All right, I think that this look is proof that makeup doesn't have to be complicated to look pretty. Like sometimes, honestly, the most uncomplicated looks are what I really enjoy. And I think it's just fresh. I have just been so much into like more color on my cheeks, a little bit lighter look on the eyes, and this feels sunny and it's like totally mood boosting, happy vibes for me. So now let's go ahead and do something with a bit more oomph on this side. I know I said I wanted to use that lemonade shade, so I'm gonna do that. I think I'm just going to put on some music. Maybe I'll find some sunny vibes music, or what I think of as sunny vibes. You guys can hang out and we'll see the finished look together. Okay, before I put mascara on this look, I do just want to say it very well could be my eyelids right now, but that lemonade shade did get kind of patchy. Like I really had to work at building up. So I'm going to have to try and use that one a little bit more to see how it goes. Maybe wear it one day next to that Sydney Gray shade to see if that's going to help me make a decision on which I'm keeping as well. This side especially was very patchy before I put anything on. So it could just be that, but I really like both of these looks. I'm gonna go put some mascara on and we can wrap this up. Right. I love both of these looks. I really do. I don't love how much fallout I got here, but I anticipated that. I also don't love that I was hanging out with you guys with dry, crusty lips. I put on one of the new City Lips plumping oils. This is in the shade Sangria. It just adds a little extra something to the lips. It's just a very sheer tint. I thought that this would be good for like sunny vibes, and I really do like this one. This is probably my favorite of the two. I think this one just has a little more kick in the pants. I'll have the link down below with my discount code. If you have tried the City Lips Night Oil and you want something that has a little bit of color, this is a great option. All right, let's go ahead and zoom out here. Oh, still that inner corner. Oh, I tell you what, I probably need to pull out and play with my Glamshop shades a little bit more. All of my singles. I really need to work on using all of my singles. Speaking of, let's go ahead and talk about next month. So I was just kind of like ruminating. I really hadn't come up with an idea yet for this month, but when I was just like, okay, well, this is the end of April, so the next one will be the end of May rolling into June, which is totally wedding season, and I cannot believe that we have never done like a bridal palette before. Like, I don't think so. I don't think we've done, and I'm thinking specifically like bridal looks, but of course it could totally be like if you're going to a wedding as well. So I thought that would be kind of fun. I think that this could be a really interesting one because like knowing what people have asked me for in the past as far as like their own bridal looks, everyone has a little bit different of a vision. Like I think that it can be very interesting. So now I need to decide if I want it to be like what my bridal palette would be or like what I just think a generalized good bridal palette. Maybe it'll be a little of both. We'll have to see. So that's gonna be it for this next month. Really great going into the summer season. So I'm gonna do a bridal palette and I invite you to do the same. Like I said, if you would like to do a video, usually these videos go up on the last Thursday of the month. But if you just get inspired to do it like after that, of course, you know, do whenever. And if, again, you just want to share a pic of a palette or some shades on Instagram, please don't forget to tag me because I do love getting to see all of the palettes that people come up with. Like I said, this series was really meant to just help us all use the singles that we have purchased and put into palettes and just haven't been playing with enough, including a lot of the ones in here. I do have to say, I didn't touch this shade from Odens Eye, but I know I'm going to keep this palette out. Probably what I will do is the next time I have some time to play, I'm going to use this lemonade shade again and not with my current skin situation. So to see the quality of this one, because if that's the case, I might pull this shade out and then that would give me more room to even pop in a couple more shades, maybe that lemonade shade and another shade. And then I will absolutely love getting to have a heyday with some, you know, sunny looks for a while. So this was a lot of fun. And like I mentioned, a lot of these are shades that I really hadn't been using much, and I really enjoyed all of them other than the questionability of that lemonade shade. Like even this one out here, that, what was this? Untamed. The Untamed from Makeup Geek it's really pretty. It's really pretty. And I think if you have green eyes especially, that's gonna be a nice one. All right. This has been a chatty one. This has been a chatty one, y'all. I want to thank you all for hanging out with me for this BYOP. You'll have to let me know, are you a fan of sunny looks? I would love to know. I just think that it's perfect. Like, I think a lot of times we think like going into summer, but I just think right now, and it's funny because maybe it's this palette, but the sun has come out. It's peeked out a little bit during this video. So who knows? Who knows? Maybe it inspired Mother Nature herself. All right, lovelies, that is going to be it. Thank you so much. Please don't forget to like this video on your way out if you did enjoy it, and I will see you really soon.